Picture this. You're on a game show, and your only goal is to apply for sweepstakes until you win $10,000. You reach your goal, and the game is over. Running from 1998 to 2001, a Japanese game show called Susunu Denpa Shōnen did just that, and it was even more extreme.
It made the Truman Show look like a morally pure experiment where nobody was hurt. Susunu Denpa Shōnen.
Now every season was slightly different, but all equally and creatively malicious. In previous seasons, 2 contestants were stranded on an island and had to make a raft, spending 4 months trying to escape in one season, while others had to hitchhike from South Africa to Norway in another. One season saw a contestant placed in a room with a TV to watch his favorite baseball team play each day. If the team won, he would receive food, but if the team lost, he wouldn't eat, and the electricity would be shut off in the room, with a losing streak meaning starvation. Now, as bad as this sounds, viewers came watching in droves. However, there was one season in particular that captivated an astonishing 17 million viewers each Sunday night. Now, to put that into perspective, it doubled the average rating of HBO's Game of Thrones on a weekly basis. The Hot Shot season followed Fukushima-born comedian Tomoki Hamatsu, better known as Nasubi. After being selected to participate in an unknown reality show, aspiring comedian Nasubi was faced with the challenge to stay alone and unclothed in a tiny apartment. Secluded from the outside world with only piles and piles of magazines, until he won a combined 1 million yen in total from regularly applying to various magazine sweepstakes. 検証がどうのこうのとかってなんかありそうですけど、まず何が欲しい？服が欲しいです。The show was painted as a unique experience, and producers convinced Nasubi to believe that he was self-recording his day-to-day experiences for further review, when in reality, his most confined moments were broadcast to the world to see and make fun of. エプロン。裸にエプロンって5名。裸にエプロン。Over the course of 15 months, Nasubi spent his life writing into publications where he could win prizes, roughly $1,400 a week, being taunted and mocked in different ways, like by a series of food delivery men with aromatic meals that weren't intended for him. This somehow managed to entice fans all around the country.
頼んでないですよ。すいません、間違えました。野菜炒めとラーメンのとてもいい匂いだけを残して手前持ちさんは行ってしまわれました。
The concept was a pretty disturbing play on capitalism and was far from worth it. For nearly a year, Nasubi would learn to live off of food items like a bag of rice and even dog food. To make matters worse, Nasubi was told about the true nature of the show moments before he was locked, naked, inside of an apartment rigged with cameras and microphones. 検証がどうのこうのとかってなんかありそうですけど、これは何のためにですか？人は検証だけで生きていけるか。そんなアホな。His inventory consisted of a shower, radio, telephone, gas burner, sink, a large rack of magazines, a giant stack of postcards, a small table, and a single cushion. Throughout these months, Nasubi would win a plethora of prizes. Unfortunately, these prizes would be shelved due to their lack of usability or importance. For example, Nasubi would go on to win a TV with no channels or cable, a bike with nowhere to ride it, and a VCR with only 2 VHS tapes. It was on day 335 that Nasubi would win a small bag of rice, which pushed him over the 1 million yen he needed to win his challenge. The producers gave Nasubi one last surprise. He was flown to Korea, then told to win his airfare to come back to Tokyo. After 4 more months, Nasubi was finally taken back home, where he was put into one last apartment room. As he began to get settled, the room's walls collapsed outward, revealing him to a live audience who congratulated him on completing prize contest's life. He happily waved to the audience with one hand and covered his genitals with a cushion in the other. Years before the Nasubi challenge, Denpa Shōnen came under fire for reportedly flying their contestants from place to place while he was supposed to be hitchhiking across all of Eurasia, a theme they would use again when they had a man hitchhike across Africa and up to Norway. Viewers then began to wonder, was the show faked? Now this would have been easy considering the producers were in control of the show 24/7. Now one thing is almost certain, Nasubi didn't see many breaks from producers' interference. He gets thinner, paler, and even hairier as the show goes on, as his near-total isolation continued and he never took a step outside. Nasubi eventually revealed that he thought of escaping several times, and was on edge, especially toward the end. Now, in an interview he had with Hulu, the producer of Denpa Shōnen said, Nasubi plunged into despair, but because he was naked and had no clothes, he couldn't even run to the police for help. Aside from the 5 minutes that Nasubi was able to interact with the delivery person, his 24 hours were spent writing out postcards by himself in a dead silent room. Imagine the elation that overcame him during those valuable few minutes when he would feel his only connection to the outside world through talking to the delivery person and checking the contents of the packages he would receive. To express his happiness, Nasubi would begin dancing. It's in thrilling moments like these when we begin to understand the true nature of humans. Prize Contest Life is an extreme example of the central premise of reality TV. Amateur actors and even the occasional normal person will undergo almost anything to become rich and famous. Nasubi gave an incredible amount for Denpa Shōnen, 15 continuous months of isolation, and he did end up landing several films and TV dramas, but Nasubi's fame ultimately faded quickly.